Hello, I'm Sam Crow from Claritystamp. I was supposed to be on TV today on HOCHANDA. Obviously circumstances are unusual at the moment, so I was asked to send in a couple of demo videos. So the demonstration is this. It's using the Clarity watercolour paper from the journal set, the journal book. My shape stamps, Don't Be Such a Square, the matte Viva paints, and the multicolour paints too. So I'm going to be using those. So get my cuttle bug out, put them there for now. Take these off. Nope. Right, so I've got my 4 pieces. There you go. Just take these out of here. I'm just going to quickly do this. It's more of a visual thing, this really. There's so much going on in a way. The first one I started, I had a gel print and I thought, you know what, that would look nice. Just cut down with a die. So then I did the next one and I wanted it to go with it, and then I thought, do you know what, just keep going. So I did this one and then I did this one. So normally I would put pink on the edges and everything to bring everything but there's a lot going on here, so I don't think I needed to. Right, so get my gel plate out. Now I'll just get the little one out like that. And I'm just going to put a bit of paint on. I'm going to start, I want a little bit of yellow and a little bit of pink. And I'm mixing the paints. I always mix my paints. You don't have to stick to one type of paint at all. So that's all I want there. Just gonna try and keep the colours a little bit separate, but I'm not too worried. I'm just going to get some stamps. This is a mix of all my stamps. I'm just going to put some pattern in that gel print there. A few dots even there. This might not work because it is a little bit dry. This gel plate needs to be messed up a bit. So I've got that so far. I need a little bit. I don't know how, if you can see. I need a bit more, so I'm going to come back in. On the edges. I was hoping for a bit more pattern, so because I didn't get it, I'll make it for myself. So I'm just going to get that. Just going to dab it in there, dab it off, and then dab it on there. And then be nice to pick this up actually. So I'm going to come in with this now. On my others, I didn't put this on a gel plate in my samples. But I'm going to for this. I just want a little bit of background. You don't have to do it exactly the same every time. So there you go, just a tiny bit like that. Next, what I did was I did the stamping on here, which I'll do that now. So I put them together like this. I mean, these are, bear in mind, these are wet. I got my little heart stamp out of the Sam's square shape stamps. I just do this and then I move this tag away. So let me do it with my left hand. So I just get round about where it would be, and then I measure it up and I can see it's just that top corner there. So I'll just come in. I'm doing the edge, this one, the frame. So what I did, I got some of the yellow paint. Some of the blue and some of the pink. So, and then I'm just going to get the water spray, give that a good spray, and I'm going to spray this and move them out of the way. Get my brush, flatten that out. Might need more blue there, and flatten that out. So I've dampened this as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick it up on the edges. I'm also going for the yellow first, so I'm just going to drag it I'm going to drag it through like that. And you see, I get that edge. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my water spray. I'm going to spray it off. If you watch what it does. Can you see it brings it in so you get like a natural finish on your edge there. So I'll do that again. Just keep going. Keep going. Just dragging it through. Now give it a little spray. Come in, do the top. I'm not worried about how deep I go in or whatever. It's just to get an effect of a watercoloured background. Can you see? So it looks natural. It's like a natural finish. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the blue at the top and a little bit of the blue at the bottom. There you go. That just grunges it up a little bit. And I'm just going to let that do its own thing at the bottom, but I'm going to give that a little spray at the top. So put that aside a minute. And then with the middle piece, you can see that was mostly yellow with a bit of blue on the edge, so I'm going to go for that again. So this time I'm going to dab this into the yellow. Give it a little spray. I'm going to dab it into the yellow. Again, I want like a natural look. If it picks up a little bit of the blue, it doesn't really matter. Like there, it actually enhances it. You pick up a bit of the blue. And now I'm going to pick up some blue on purpose. I just want it down the edges like that. I'm going to take a little bit off as well. Just want a hint of it. And then I'm going to wet down the pink. Move these out of the way. Tap it out. I love these cloudy brushes. I use them for everything. Paint, ink, glue. They're fabulous. Right, so I'm just going to dab a little bit in there. Just going to pick a little bit up. I don't like too much pink because it's, if you see, if you water down pink, it goes very wishy-washy. So you don't want too much of it really. So I'm going to leave that and take that back out a bit. And then I'm going to put some more blue in. I mean, obviously I'm having to rush this because otherwise you'd be sat watching me for ages. I take a lot longer over this. I think about it. I think about where my colours are going. And I have a good play and enjoy the process. I'm just rushing it for you so that you can see how I do it, how I think about it. And what I'm trying to match up and everything. So I'm going to come back in over that pink with a bit of that blue and it'll date it. Makes it look a bit aged. Right, so that'll do. Now that, when it's dry, it'll look a lot nicer than it does now. When it all settles, it looks a lot nicer. This is the most colourful one I've done so far. The others have just been a hint of colour. So, but they're going to be different every single time. Sam's Shape Squares, this one. They don't look like this when you get them. They look see-through and you can see the shape of them. But, you know, this has had a lot of use. So, I'm going to come down, I'm going to do this edge like this. And there's a couple of ways I did this. So there's another one there. So I did some in the black and I've done some from the paint. So I'll do the black first. So as I'm stamping the black, I'll start in the middle there. So I've got the full on centre piece of the image. Can you see? And then I'm going to move it across each time so you don't get the same image every time next to each other. So this one I'm moving this way. Can you see? And then I'm not going to go down to the bottom. The centre again there. And I come in with this one. Just keep moving it every time, slightly one way, slightly the other way, so that it just looks all higgledy-piggledy. There you go, like that. Can you see that? I'll show you on I'll put the black at the back of it so you can see properly. There you go, so that's what we want there. You see? So then, what I did, I got the stamp and I used some of the paint to stamp it with. So what's still on my mat, what's still wet. So I'm going to bring it across. Now that is dripping, so that wouldn't give it an image at all. So I'm stamping it off and stamping it off again onto the paper, and then I'm coming in and I'm stamping it up the top. So there you can see on the third stamp you get a watercolour type image. I'll show you on the black again, sorry. You see you get a watercolour type image. That's what we're looking for. So I'll do that again. I'm stamping it, stamp it off again, and then you'll get the image. And I'm kind of being a bit symmetrical. Put a little bit down there. And if it's almost faded away, that one, that's fine. You want it to be different. So then I'll bring in a different stamp. And I'm going to do, I'm going to use some of the, I'll get round to it, one of the stripes. So I'm doing it again in the pink, stamp it off again, and you should get the image. Yeah, and I'll show you in a second. Stamp it off again, get the image. And I could do this in yellow as well if I wanted. Turn it around sometimes. Yeah, there you go. So that's it. So that's the stamping on there, on the background. That just gives you a really nice background and a frame. So then what I would do, I'd do the same with these. I'd decorate these. So obviously I can't keep it here forever showing you this. So this is one I've decorated. Sorry, this one here. I've done a similar technique from the watered down paint. And you stamp into it, stamp it off again, and then stamp on here. And I've done that in the black and the yellow. And then I've edged it in the blue. You see that? That's our frame. There. And then centerpiece there. That goes in there. You see? That will go in there. And then this will go on top. But that needs a little bit of stamping as well. And then I've got the tiny one that I've lost somewhere. There it is. It goes on top of there. And all I've done, I've stuck them together with brads. I've put a brad through there, and I've lined it. I've cut the tag out again in black, and that's how I've lined the back. And so I'm sticking the frame to that so it stays firm. Put a brad in so it looks like it's not attached. Then with this, and this, I'm going to put a brad all the way through to the back to hold them in place. So the one last thing I'd like to show you is with this one and this one, I'm using the Inca Gold granite, and what it does, it gives you this little frame. I'll quickly show it, and then I'll show you the finished effect. So I'm just going to get a little bit of tissue paper, just going to tap it, and I'm going to come into the frame here, and I'm doing it while it's wet because you get that slight run on it as well. Okay, so there you go. Just quickly do this. Run it down the edge, all the way on the inside. So and then I would put some on the top to frame the top, like that. So then I'd lay that down onto the black and actually glue that on. So then you've just got this granite in there, which on the inner edge, which separates it, and I'd put it on the outer edge too. Then on this inner one, I would put it on the edge here. And don't forget, I would be stamping this one as well, and just putting a few stamps on, a few patterns, a few watercolour stamps as well. So there you go. So come up round with the granite. Again, this is damp, so you get a nice grungy look to it, and then I'll sit that in there. And as you can see now, the granite, Inca Gold, it separates them. Sorry. It separates them so they stand out more against each other. So then, obviously, I will be decorating that one and decorating that one so that they look the same as this one. And now you go, some nice little grungy tags that are fun to make. And then you can give them as a card. You can put them on front of a card, put them as a really nice tag, or just a little gift to a friend with a nice little sentiment on, from Leonie's sentiment stamps or from Barbara's sentiment stamps. So there you go. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and I hope it wasn't too long for you. Okay, thank you. Bye.